We're off to a good start.
Do you just not want to ever make money?
Speaking of money, Ben, the only book podcast on the planet that Scholastic backed down from, to my knowledge, got him.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't even Scholastic. It was Scholastic UK.
Yeah. The superior
authorized
branch.
Representative.
Yeah. Their authorized representative who decided that it wasn't worth the time, effort, or money to listen to a full episode of our book to see what they what
That's our greatest defense.
To us. Yeah.
That's our greatest defense. We keep doing 3-part series where we just repeat ourselves over and over, and we'll beat the algorithms every time.
Yeah. Well, you
I
didn't
have
like
no
our
idea
series on Fire and Blood? That's fine.
No one liked our series on Fire and Blood.
What?
The only response I got to that was one guy who said, "I'm still waiting for Edenverse Volume 2. I don't know who that was. I don't know if we know that person, but no, you're not.
Don't lie to me.
Don't lie to me.
It was George R. R. Martin.
I know all 5 people who bought copies of Edenverse. And 2 of them are Nate.
That's not true. We're in the double digits.
Oh, shit. Then I don't know everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Well, okay. I don't know why I'm here. This is another one of these episodes.
Yeah, Ben. I wish I didn't know why I was here. So, I guess I'll just say that I had a bad time. I hated reading this book, but I'm glad it was really short. And this episode's going to be short because I don't have a lot to talk about. And that's why we're probably just going to record talking about Tolkien right after this, Ben. But I had to do this because my wife was like, oh, it'd be funny is if I antagonize my husband. Is if I get him a fucking terrible book that she saw, that she knew was going to be bad, that she also knew not only was it going to be bad, but it wasn't even going to be my thing. It's not even my brand of bad book, right?
Okay.
Ben, it's been Easter. Most people ask, what would Jesus do? This book asks, what would Skeletor do?
That actually sounds like your brand.
No, wrong. Incorrect. Here, let me start by saying there is not. I think so. I wrote a blog post that I think has more content than this entire book. This book is 95 pages, but I stopped taking notes partway through and I finished it, and I think I put down like 15 minutes, 20 minutes. 20 minutes, including typing up notes. I'm fucked, is what my final note says. Because there's nothing here.
Well, I was going to say, Skeletor didn't do a lot.
Yeah, he didn't do a lot.
What was Skeletor's tax policy?
Probably kill everyone? I don't know.
I don't really know what he even wanted.
He wanted the magic of Castle Grayskull? Grayskull. Because it's shaped like a skull. I get it. I'm with you.
Is that why he was attracted to it?
I don't fucking know. Ben, who is it? Who would this even be for? This is like the old He-Man cartoon that existed in the 80s, aka the worst decade ever. Fight me, assholes.
I watched the old He-Man cartoon as a child.
I did not. I didn't even know that was a thing until there was a remake in 2003, which I also did not care for. And did you know there was another one recently where Mark Hamill was Skeletor, Ben?
He'd be a good Skeletor. Oh, I know there's been a couple, right? Like there was the She-Ra show on Netflix.
That was like a spit. What? Huh? Are you for real?
The cartoon. She-Ra? The cartoon.
Like, there's another one separate from the first She-Ra.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are there more than one series of She-Ra? Also, there was a He-Man movie, like a live-action movie, now that I'm thinking
Masters
about
of the
this.
Universe.
Wasn't it starring Ivan Drogo? Or whatever his name is? The Rocky IV villain. So, I guess let me see. Can you see me okay? Can you see this? Can you see this
Oh, so you do
shitty.
have a webcam.
Yeah, I've always had a webcam, Ben. I'm not denying that I had a
Well, why
webcam.
don't you ever use it?
Why do you want to look at me?
Yes. People have begged you to turn on the webcam. That is his
Yeah,
back. Yeah, he's ripped.
no, but I mean, like, do you see the lines? Do you see the lines on this, Ben?
I
Every image looks like I described it as when your printer runs out of ink. So like everything, like there's lines, horizontal lines running through everything. But I think what happened is they literally just took images from the 80s cartoon and blew them up to this size. So
yeah.
everything looks like shit. The images are really really bad. There's not even original artwork in this.
Yeah, I
And
think
the
that's even
artwork that's
like
here sucks.
yeah, I was going to say I think that's even the wrong aspect ratio. Like I think they also distorted it.
God. Yeah, it's bad. Oh yeah, by Robb Pearlman. Sorry, Rob, if you're the one of the if you're the one of the four people who are listening to this episode. My wife better listen to this episode. I don't care how bad it is. She fucking owes me.
So, did she why did of all the like the philosophy of Buffy and the Tao of yeah, there's a million of these like random pop culture books that are like quasi philosophical or psychological. Like, why of all of those did this one
Skeletor?
did
I
Skeletor?
don't know. I don't even think she's watched the show. I don't even think she could name characters from the show outside of He-Man and Skeletor. I have no fucking clue why she picked this, other than she thought it would antagonize me, in which case, mission accomplished.
I just wonder why. There's so many things that would upset you so much.
She's like a misery vampire, where like she made me watch the movie Elf, which by the way we talked about the book of Elf, and it was also like this episode where I just hated it so much, and I talked about how much it sucked, and we never published it because it's just me
Well, I was
ranting for
gonna.
like 20 minutes.
So I was straight up. I was gonna edit that into a bonus episode for Patreon, and legit forgot it existed. I was actually sitting around last weekend, like, oh, I guess I'll edit the D&D thing. I don't have anything else to edit. I could have edited Elf. I could have had a bonus episode out last weekend. But yeah, okay. So we're here now. You have the book. What would Skeletor do?
Oh well, let me go over my notes, Ben. Rob Pearlman is who we have to thank for this abomination. I already
Who
talked about how the images look like shit.
who is
Um,
Rob Pearlman?
the author, Ben.
No, not
Not
that's what I
Rob
thought.
Pearlman.
No,
No.
not no,
No.
no, definitely not. I'm looking at this guy.
Oh, God. I've never, ever wanted to stuff someone in a locker more than I do at this moment. I'm sorry, Rob. Again, I know
Yeah,
you're
no,
listening to this
he
episode. You're
writes
one of four people.
he writes exactly the kind of book I was just trying to describe. I'll list some of them for you.
Rick and Morty. Talking Pickle Rick. Oh my God, this is a pre-pandemic book, Ben.
Star Trek, Trek the Halls.
Oh my God.
Uh, Be a Peaceful Cloud and Other Life Lessons from Bob Ross.
This is even
This is his
worse.
whole career.
This
He
looks like
is okay. I'm gonna do a little about the author. I'm gonna read just his author blurb from Amazon. Robb Pearlman is a #1 New York Times best-selling pop
I quit.
culturist
Oh, okay.
and author of more than 80 books for
Oh
grown-ups
my
and
God.
kids.
Oh my God.
As an industry-leading writer, geez, did he pull this right off his LinkedIn? And multifaceted, innovative creative. He did pull this off his LinkedIn. Robb has ideated, written, art directed, and edited books based on his own original concepts and more frequently pop culture concepts. He also authentically
yeah, it's been confirmed he invented He-Man. That's canon now.
I feel like this was written by ChatGPT. I feel like ChatGPT was like, right. Like, I'm not saying it was. I'm just saying it feels like something that could have been. He has also authentically and effectively translated many of the world's biggest pop culture brands and media properties into best-selling fan favorite books.
I want to see sales figures. Can I see sales figures, please?
As a publishing professional, Robb has acquired and edited a host of pop culture and entertainment books, including, oh, here's one for the fine folks over at Unsighted, The Princess Bride Cookbook. You remember all the food from The Princess Bride.
Yeah, there's that one where there's poison in it and you die after you drink it.
There was also the pill that brought him back to life, a little chocolate coating, makes it go
Okay.
down. Yeah,
Yeah.
you make that. The Parks and Recreation Cookbook, All in the Family, the show that changed television.
And when I ask for sales figures, I genuinely want to know if I should just quit my career and start churning out garbage because it sells. So
uh, the Kana Sutra.
I'm
Uh,
sorry.
I don't know. I guess it's
I'm sorry. What was that?
the definitive story of undead cinema, stuck on Star Trek, the Princess Bride
So some of
celebration.
this at least sounds like ideas and like there's content maybe.
A lot of it sounds like an essay stretched into a book.
Yeah, which is more than I can say about what would Skeletor do, which sounds like someone had one joke maybe and not even that and then was like 96 pages of really poorly cropped stretched out images.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a Screen Rant listicle stretched into a book.
Yeah, that book How to Talk to Your Cat About Gun Safety, um which is like, okay, this is like boomer humor almost, like it's meant for that audience. I don't know who this audience is meant for, but it kind of has the same vibe in my mind.
This is meant for that guy outside my house.
That guy who just revved his fucking engine.
Yeah. No, I would say this is meant for somebody who would not be off put by a man described as a multifaceted, innovative creative.
Okay, let me just put down my 1 star. All right. Changed my life. 4 stars. Thanks to Skeletor, I'm going to find a man to mop my kitchen while wearing a harness and calf high boots. Fun little coffee table book.
I'm going to ask a question. Maybe we don't ever talk about this book, but I'm going to ask a question.
What, you don't want to know the secrets of what would Skeletor do, Ben?
I watched every episode of He-Man. I have some idea of what Skeletor would do.
It involves a lot of grandiose villain speeches and then running away.
Yeah, he's going to like dig an elaborate tunnel under the wall or something. It's crazy schemes. That's what he's going to do. I mean, you might as well ask what Wile E. Coyote's going to do. He's going to order defective products and run into a cliff. Like, but how do you feel about coffee table books? Like books that are not meant to be read. They're meant to sit on the coffee table and in the uncomfortable silence where we all have to realize that we don't know each other and quite frankly we don't like each other.
This would not be a coffee table book though. I don't want you to bring up Skeletor and us having to I don't want to have this conversation right now and I know you. I would not want a random stranger to be like, "Oh, what would Skeletor do?" And I'd be like, "He would manscape. A little bit of manscaping goes a long way."
They all manscaped. There's not a
Yeah.
trace of body hair on anyone in that entire
Yeah.
world.
Yeah. That's what Skeletor would do. I wonder if it's a skull down there too.
it's
It's a boner.
it's like vertebrae.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. A coffee table book is like this giant ass 600-page book on like the history of surgery that I will never read, but like I guess I'll put it on this table so you can think I read it, and like
Does it
maybe I use it as a paperweight.
does it have pictures?
No.
Hmm. That would be a coffee table book.
Yeah.
Pictures of like cut up bodies. I
There
don't
you
know.
go.
We have different tables. But okay, so what are some of the things Skeletor would do?
Oh man, Ben. Let's
Well,
see.
you know how you put it to me in the context of like what would Jesus do? So,
Skeletor never gives up and is compared to Churchill by the author in the preface.
I don't know if I want to be like Churchill.
The preface is basically don't do what he does or thinks because he's evil, but he can teach us things or whatever.
Okay, so let's say I'm going to ask you like to use the wisdom you've gleaned from reading this book. Like something somebody would say like what would Jesus do? I'm trying to think of a situation. So like let's say
He
somebody's
uses the word nincompoopery. That's something that he'll do. All
that's
right,
not,
all right. I'm gonna open up this table of contents, Ben, and we'll. What would he do, Ben?
okay. So let's say somebody's really getting on my nerves at work and I'm about to pop off at the mouth because they're just so frustrating. What would Skeletor do?
All right, so that's under friends and frenemies. I'm guessing. And the answer is if you don't have anything nice to say it in stage whisper, then point and laugh.
All right.
All while this amazing image takes up 2 whole fucking pages.
Yeah,
Look
they're
at
not
that.
really aligned, are they?
They look terrible. Who looked at this and thought, yeah, I want this grainy shit? Like, you can't. I mean, I get the idea. It sold a copy to my wife, so, I mean, it worked, I guess.
Well, that would be somebody who authentically and effectively translated a big pop culture brand to you.
Beastman is a lawyer, and JD doesn't stand for Juris Doctor, but for Just Dum Dum. This is what I have to look forward to, is what that note said.
So this was published after Trump, like after JD Vance.
No, this was 2019. This is a
Oh,
pre pandemic world.
oh.
This was 2 presidents ago, which also happened to be the same president that we have now.
Hey, maybe that'll be the same next president too. And
Now we're getting Biden again. we're gonna wheel him out.
they're gonna try AOC, but okay. Here's another one. That's it. That brings me to a good point. Okay, so I was actually telling my therapist this today. I
Therapy is a sign
have
of weakness. Don't do it.
I have a
That's
problem
what
where
Skeletor would say.
I like to procrastinate. I get bored at work and I like to procrastinate. And my brain would rather torture itself than do the thing I'm supposed to do. So I will open up the news and start scrolling. So what would Skeletor do um instead of procrastinating? And then B, what would Skeletor do when he procrastinates, because obviously that's what you're going to do, and then finds that the world is on fire?
First, I think the world being on fire is the end result for Skeletor. I think that would be a net win. This page just says
Does Skeletor not have
mansplaining.
an IRA?
No, are you kidding? He doesn't have any investments that aren't being thrown away on henchmen and failed plans.
He's got real estate.
Yeah, but it's like the bad real estate in the bad neighborhood, and like
There's no
the
bad real
property
estate right now.
values are.
Are you kidding? He's been developing that castle.
Mansplaining is necessary and usually well received. That was a whole 2 pages right there. You're 2 pages through this book now, just from that.
I didn't. That doesn't answer either of my questions.
Well, let me. Okay, let's see. What category would that be under? Hold on. Family and frenemies, love and other evils. Home is where the hatred is. Here it is. Career, Ben.
Yes. Okay.
All right, career. Let's go to. Oh man, are there not? I'm just realizing that there's a table of contents, but there aren't any fucking page numbers, Ben.
Are you serious?
I'm just gonna say it. Even Edenverse had page numbers.
You don't even have to do them. The word, like Microsoft Word, does it automatically. Everything does it automatically.
Okay. Upset, shake your fists to the heavens as you curse your higher power for surrounding you with fools and miscreants, especially the ones with the flowing golden locks and the happy family lives who seem to get all the breaks.
Well, the
Does that
problem is
answer your question?
No, because Skeletor is my higher power.
Okay, well, that's
What about
unfortunate.
religion? Does it have anything to say about religion? Who should I worship?
Are you fucking kidding me? Of course, it's gonna stay away from anything, any real substance at all, Ben. Let's see. Always keep a glowing orb handy. That's another 2 pages, by the way, and a
To,
picture of him with a golden orb, and it looks bad, like everything in this book.
is this fair use, or did he pay to take screenshots of the show?
I think that
I mean, he's using so much of the show.
well, yeah, every page is a
Yeah.
shitty still image of the show, and he thanks people for allowing him to use the IP. So I think he can use the IP.
Well, when the author of the Parks and Recreation Cookbook comes calling and asks you, it's like Weird Al asking to do a parody of your song. You gotta let that happen.
Now there's a quote, "Witches be crazy," and I just wrote, "This is bad."
Oh, is that a joke about Evil Lynn?
Yeah. We all die, so focus your rage on being a lonely fuck, on crushing your enemies. I can
Can
see why
Skeletor die?
he died in one of the things, I think. A Cobra King? Not Cobra Commando, that's G.I. Joe, but there's like a Snake Man who killed him, I think.
Is okay. Is Skeletor undead, or is he just a man with a grievous face wound?
I don't know. In the reboot in the early 2000s, I think he had a grievous face wound. A magical grievous face wound. That is why he is not dead from his face and skin and blood vessels melting off of his skull.
It's weird that that's not his priority. Maybe there's some wisdom in that. Never let nothing, not even the loss of your face, distract you from your goals.
So the book says like don't do what Skeletor does because he's evil. So he says Skeletor, you don't want to subscribe to traditional gender norms. So are traditional gender norms good? Then is that how I'm supposed to interpret that?
You know, hmm.
And then later on, he says rebellion is a good thing, and he advocates challenging the status quo. But then he mentions letter writing campaigns and artistic forms of rebellion. So is that bad? Like, is the monarchy good? Are we supposed to just stick with the status quo? Is that what I'm getting from this?
Well, in Eternia, the monarchy is good.
Yeah, but what was his tax policy? I
There were
think it
only
was
like
putting it
six
all on.
people.
I think it was all tax all those bad guys over there. That's why Skeletor lives in the slum because
Well, in that
it's
case,
it's been.
Skeletor would be justified.
Yeah, no, it sounds like he's justified, and he
Skeletor's
even
throwing off his
starts
oppressors.
with peaceful protests, letter writing campaigns, um, and how these signal to the established ruling horde that you won't hide in your lair forever. So is that bad because Skeletor's bad and I'm not supposed to do what Skeletor does? I'm supposed to just stay in my house and do nothing? And is this answering your question, Ben? That you should just stay home. As the world is on fire, you need to just stay home. Stop
Well,
writing your congressman, okay?
I mean, it's
Even that's a
I might
bridge
as
too
well.
far.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might as well. But even that's too far, Ben. Even that's too much rebellion for Skeletor. Or no, that is rebellion in Skeletor's book, but we're not supposed to listen to Skeletor because he's a bad guy.
Skeletor is attempting to kill the royal family.
Yeah, but I hate those guys.
Right. So that's what Skeletor would do. He would kill them.
Yeah.
He would fail, but he would try.
Yeah, but he also mentions like letter writing campaigns, which I don't believe Skeletor has ever done, and I struggle to believe Skeletor can even write.
I don't. Could he? He doesn't have eyes.
Yeah. He wrote the not the foreword, but the prologue? No, he wrote the foreword, and Robb wrote the preface. Skeletor
Wrote.
wrote the foreword, Ben. I
Okay.
don't
What?
believe that because I don't think Skeletor can actually
Well, what
write.
did Skeletor say?
Well, he talked about how he only gets to write one chapter of this book, which is a page, not even a chapter, and or maybe 2 pages. Maybe I'm wrong on that. And how he has so much more knowledge to give us, and can't believe that this Robb motherfucker is over here writing his book for him.
I'm going to need you to check your privilege there because Rob has been featured on several pop culture blogs and Sirius XM radio shows. I guess
Woohoo!
that's is that still a thing? Sirius XM?
I have no fucking clue. I was on a Sirius XM radio show. Pretty sure.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe it was just morning radio. Look, man, I don't give a shit. I was on the radio, okay? And I was talking about something more important than this bullshit. I was talking about colon cancer screening. So, yeah, I'm over here saving lives, and you're over here pretending to be Skeletor and stealing the rights to his life's work.
He is a member. Oh my God, Nate, this is a real thing.
No.
He is a member of the International Association of Media Tie-In Writers.
Oh my god, that shouldn't exist, dude. This has gone beyond just like we need someone to write the book version of Star Wars.
ChatGPT is going to murder this genre. I can tell you, AI art is. Oh man.
Yeah, and it would be in the correct aspect ratio, and it wouldn't have lines through everything.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think somebody asks him to do this? Somebody's
He
like,
asked, or someone asked him.
somebody asks him. Somebody's like, oh yeah, no, it's 2019. We need. Where's our media tie-in book?
We need a media tie-in book for a 1980s cartoon. Quick, get Ron on the phone. And then they called Robb by accident. And they're like, that's even better. He's even cheaper.
Get Ron Pearlman on the horn. Oh, Christ. Oh, Christ.
So the Masters of the Universe Revelation, which was the remake sequel thing, that came out in 2021. So they were laying the groundwork with this book. They're like, this will get
They're testing the
talking.
waters,
Yeah.
see if there's still a
Yeah.
hunger for He-Man content. No, okay. So here's a challenge, right? I have just found out that a loved one has a terrible illness. What would Skeletor do?
All right. Friends and family can offer counsel when trying to navigate life's twists and turns. It's important to listen to and calmly consider their suggestions. Then, after a few moments of lulling them into a false sense of calm, mock them mercilessly for their nincompoopery and do what you wanted to do in the first place.
I don't know if that really helps me. What if I have an opportunity to do something unethical to enrich myself?
Yes.
And I won't get caught.
Oh.
But I'll know.
I feel like you should get caught. I feel like you need to loudly proclaim. There's a lot of loudly proclaim your evil intentions in this book. A lot of the jokes, in fact, revolve around doing just that.
Okay.
Things. Here's how you handle a loved one is got a serious disease, right?
Right.
Things getting uncomfortable. If you're about to get caught doing something naughty, or your significant other is at a party, isn't getting your "I want to leave" signal, just escape through a magic portal and leave them to their own devices. So you're in the hospital,
Mm.
your X, Y, or Z has cancer, you just go through a portal and leave them there because
Do
you're
you
uncomfortable.
know how many of my mental health issues would be solved if I had access to portal travel? Does Skeletor have access to portals?
I assume he does because there's an image of him with an incredibly shitty looking portal that takes up half this page and looks very bright.
I
And he
can't
just goes
remember.
through it
Why can't he just portal into Castle?
because it's got a magic barrier, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're probably
Now, why
right.
can't he portal into the king's like poop chamber and just stab him in the butthole while he's taking a dump and portal out of there? I don't know. You don't have a nose. Do you?
You don't have a
Oh my
nose.
god! But though I did just realize, like, if someone pooped on him, it would go inside of his skull.
Yeah.
You would have to like water blast every surface of your skull.
Well, he can't. That's what I'm saying. Like, he can't be like conventionally alive, right?
Well, yeah, most people who lose all the everything on their skull are not conventionally alive.
But yeah, like, how does his jaw stay on?
I assume magic.
Yeah, it's got to be magic. So he might be. It might not go in there.
Nobody's worth going to Jared for.
What's that mean?
I think Jared is a ring.
The jewelry store, Jared.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, okay.
They might take offense, but no one bought that book. I assume. Again, show me the sales figures and like I'll get some AI generated shit just crapping out. I will release a torrent of tie-in garbage. How is this even tie-in though? It's
It
not even like a story about
says
He-Man. It's
Skeletor.
just it's just I'm gonna make a series of very similar jokes.
I don't know who the
He
fuck you think you are talking to a member of the
Ben
advisory
Ben
board of the International Association of Media Tie-in
This
Writers,
was
the
more than just one person.
IAMTIAW. What?
It takes a universe to publish a book, and this one was no exception. I'm grateful to Alex Ward, Megan Starts, and all the hardworking and dedicated folks at NBC Universal and Mattel for allowing me to frolic in the Eternian sunshine with my childhood chums. Special things must be given to editor Jacob Lehman and designer Lynn Yeamans and each and every master at Universe Publishing. And a note to 12-year-old me, who I can see through the time corridor: you'll never need algebra. Just keep watching cartoons and playing with action figures, and you'll be fine. That last part is actually the first time I read that because I checked the fuck out when I was done with the book because I don't read acknowledgments. But he had a designer and he had an editor for this book, which, again, that blog I wrote on Crusader Kings is probably like 10 times longer than this 96-page book. And the designer had to have been the one who blew up all these photos and just put them on the page. And also, go back to school. Younger self, learn some algebra. Don't do this. Don't be this guy. I get hearing that last part sounds very Ernest Klein, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm like, is it elitist to be like algebra's not like a high enough level math to say that to use that as the example of the thing you're not going to need.
I would agree with that. I think I would at least tell myself pre-calc.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I feel like, you use algebra in, like, I don't know, escape room puzzles and shit. That's not crazy math.
Oh, Masters of the Universe Revelation was created by Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I knew that.
I
I
did
knew
not
that.
know that off the top of my head. Yeah, no, algebra is not like I guess it's hard when you're first learning it, but then like you grow a brain and then you're like, oh, this actually
It could get hard. It depends on
some of the stuff gets like asymptotes and stuff. Like, okay, fine, but like solving for x, right?
yeah, the basics. Yeah, like you're probably not going to need the quadratic formula here, but
How dare you? How dare you? I don't remember exactly what that is supposed to solve for, but I know how to do it, and I know the various forms you can put it in, sir.
yeah, if you ever find yourself on the wrong end of a quadratic equation, you're going to want to know that, especially if it's not easily reducible. Some of them look like they'd be easy reduced, but they're not. Um,
All right, so yeah, this is like a less successful Ernest Klein, is what it sounds like. Maybe a little less jaded, but like I didn't get enough from this book to even say that.
I
So
don't know. I think this guy's got a great thing going.
again, if he shows me sales figures, I'm on Chat GPT tomorrow.
Buddy, if he makes even 50 grand a year doing this crap.
Yeah, where are we doing? We could be doing this on the side. And we wouldn't would we have to join his international tie-in book? Like do you have to pay dues?
You definitely have to know somebody. Like, you definitely have to know the people who can give you the rights to do the
Ah.
thing.
Yeah,
That's the
okay.
greatest skill on
So
display here.
so we need to apologize to our good friend Rob Pearlman. We love you and get us that foot in the door so we can start. But why would you? Why wouldn't you just take the work that we would do? Like, yeah, no, I see. I see. I get
I've
it.
never
I
seen
get it
anything
now.
more susceptible to AI than this.
No, you could absolutely just be like, "Hey, can you write a joke as if you were Skeletor?" I've done that before, except I did it with Joe Biden. You could write a whole thing on that. You know how easy that is?
I remember the boar who gored Leto's dad of Dune, or the bull who gored Leto's dad of
Yeah.
Dune. Oh dear. I'm still baffled. So, like, having demonstrated that there is enough of these media tie-in books for there to be an international association of them.
Okay, hold
Uh,
on. What's it called, Ben? I need to look this up. International.
National Association of Media or of Media Tie hyphen in Writers.
Okay. All right. Ooh, how to join. If you written licensed fiction based on TV show, motion picture, computer game, stage play, comic book, or strip, radio serial, or other dramatic work, as long as you were paid for it and has been published. The membership committee will determine on a case by case basis what qualifies as, quote, other dramatic work. For instance, a series of books based on a toy or doll. It doesn't matter whether you've written 40 novels or one short story, whether it was published last week or 30 years ago, you qualify for membership as long as you were paid for your licensed work and it was published.
Do you have to pay dues?
Fan fiction does not qualify.
Do you have to pay dues?
Oh, they're in Pennsylvania.
Lovely. There's a lot of valuable media coming through Pennsylvania.
There is a book that is called Tied In: The Business, History, and Craft of Media Tie-in Writing.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Turning the Tide. International Association of Media Tie-in Writers. There are
When I was trying to describe what the Star Wars books were and why I didn't like them, I now have the word.
25 people on this book. An anthology of double trouble two-fisted team-ups.
Media tie-in writing first started when
when a man was like, "How can I get more money out of this property?" and someone was like, "I gotcha. I've got like I can sell some merch, but like I'm really lazy and I've got like 4 hours. Done." Oh, they interviewed Kevin J. Anderson.
thank Christ.
He would qualify for this because he wrote a Star Wars novel, Ben.
Yeah, that's yeah. He also, I think he
So
would qualify for writing Dune novels. Yeah. Well, I've made an enemy today.
the International Association of Media Tie-in Writers. So now we, instead of calling them merch books, we can call them tie-in books
We can
because
call
that is
them
what they call
media tie-in books. Yep. It's a craft.
it.
It's a
Is a
noble
craft.
craft. Fan fiction doesn't count
Yes,
because
fan
what we
fiction
do
doesn't
isn't
count.
fan fiction. Okay.
Yeah, what we do is serious work.
Yeah, this is serious work.
So you have to be commissioned, okay?
You have to be paid because, as we all know, that's when you become a real writer. Now, to be fair, does it count if you self-publish and you get paid? What if I have a Patreon for my fan fiction?
I was wondering the same thing. Is Chad Dingleton, did he not write the greatest tie-in book ever, Extrasensual Perception?
What did it tie into?
It tied into culture, Ben.
Culture. I said cyborg, so no, I was
You know
thinking.
what? One of the gifts I'm going to get from my wife is I'm going to make her read that as revenge for me having to read this fucking Skeletor book. That could be my birthday gift or a Christmas gift. You read that book, and then you have to give me a 30-minute words about books discussion on what all the books, so I know you read it.
I want to read your Goodreads review. You have to leave a Goodreads review.
There you go.
500 words or more. But I know there's like the Horror Writers Association.
The
They have similar.
IAMTW is dedicated to enhancing the professional and public image of tie-in writers.
Bang
Maybe you
up job.
shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't.
No, it needs it.
So can Chat GPT become a member of the IAMTW?
No, because I don't think you can pay it.
I would be willing to pay it. I'll
You
buy the
can't.
book.
It doesn't exist to pay.
That's okay. Set up a bank account for Chat GPT.
Happily. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay. No, yeah, I'm back in. Yeah, donations to Chat GPT. Yeah.
They have officers, Ben. They have founders here who they're talking about.
Of course, they've got nothing
They've
but
got-
fucking time. I'm sure they're very organized.
Oh no, Ben. I think we were wrong. Oh wait, no, hold on. This blog is very poorly organized. Well, no, okay, here's the welcome. The welcome post was in 2021. Important membership info in 2020. So they must have set this up around then. And then the most recent thing I see is November 18, 2024.
It's fairly recent.
Not if you're wow, they didn't do a whole lot in 2023. They need to blog more, Ben. As a prospective member to the IAMTIW. No, sorry, no I. It's IAMTW. The tie-in is a hyphen. As a prospective member, I want more blogs. I'm out blogging you right now.
Well, I'll tell you what the problem is. Because I think as time goes on, we're living in like a post monoculture world. Like there's a million shows that are super popular that I've never heard of. I will never watch Severance because it's
I
on
kind of
Apple.
want to, but it's on Apple.
Yeah, it's on Apple TV. I'm never going to get that. So Yeah, they're like you're never going to make like the Severance pop-up cookbook or whatever the fuck these people do.
You should. What do they eat? I
I
assume
don't think
office
they
snacks?
eat. Yeah. But no, there's a bunch of shows that like people are really into that I'm never going to watch. I'm never going to watch Westworld. I don't have HBO.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to. That's my point though. That's why they're drawn on He-Man. That's the last thing our culture remembers.
God.
This one just says, oh no, this is another cookbook. This is the Bob's Burgers Burger book.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, he worked on that.
Alright, are we done? Is this I feel like we're fucking over, right? Should I rubric this, Ben?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, let me just Oh, I see you did on tax policies and abandoned epics. So I'll have to read
Yeah, I
that
write
on
occasionally.
blog.wordsaboutbooks.ninja.
We should start the shitty snarky blog writers association.
you have to not be paid for your work.
You absolutely cannot ever be paid for your work.
As soon as someone gives you money, you're fucking out.
It's $150 a month.
All right, content and ideas, Ben.
I don't think there are any.
Uh, well, this says no central themes, but there is a central theme. It's just very poorly done.
Well, yeah, but like you said, what? Okay, so other than like quote unquote Skeletor, but you said it doesn't even always follow like.
I'm not even sure if it always follows Skeletor. You're right, because
Yeah.
our traditional gender norm's a good thing? Because Skeletor doesn't seem to think so. And he is evil. But also He-Man would also not think so, because you cannot convince me that he was into chicks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God, no. None of them are.
No way.
Yeah,
No
no.
way. I'll give it a 1. Yeah, I'll give it a 1. It's kind of unfocused, and there's really no central theme. Organization, I can give that a 2. I can say there was an well, I'll give it a 1.5 because there aren't page numbers.
I was going to bring that
If
up.
you're gonna have a table of contents and tell me what page to go to, you need to have page numbers.
You can also really beef up the length of the book by adding a glossary for unfamiliar terms and an index.
Ah, yes. What is a He-Man? I don't know.
People might not know. They might find this book on your coffee table, you, an adult man, and
right next to my mouse pad with boobs on it.
Yeah, and they might not know what a He-Man is. They might not know what a She-Ra is. They might not understand that he's called many faces because he has many faces.
Use of language, Ben. I can't say this. I could say a 2. He used language. Maybe even a 3, because I feel like for the audience, this was all appropriate language. This talked to you like a big dumb idiot who bought a fucking book on what would Skeletor do. You know what? I'll give him 3. I'll give him a 3 because it fit the audience profile. Or perhaps someone who bought a book for someone else knowing that they would hate it because you like to torture them because you're mean. Personal preference. That's a 1. That's an easy one.
We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out these people are very powerful, and we just picked a fight today. That's what. I just like. It just hit me. Like
you thought Elon Musk was heading up Doge, but it was actually the International Association of Tie-In Writers.
I could believe they've done work for Doge.
Now we will never get Edenverse Volume 2 published because they're gonna block it, Ben.
Dude, we lost the original document. I'm at a point now where I would have to pay Amazon to read my own book.
I thought you said you found it, actually.
I found an old... it's not the release version.
All right, well, I've got an old computer in my closet. I could dust
could
it off.
clean it up.
I could
Like,
dust it off, turn it on. I can find it, Ben.
I'm so fucking tempted to write Edenverse Volume 2 just for that one guy. Because, like, if you think I can't write that before the Winds of Winter comes out,
we can finally explore what was the CEO's tax policy.
we could. We could. I guess it would be a privately held corporation, too. Edenverse 2, IPO. But what they didn't realize was it was the public that was on offer.
We'll have to create some sort of organization and then say we're part of it and put a stamp of approval from that organization on our book.
Yep.
Also, recommendation strength 1. I don't recommend anyone buy this.
Yeah.
17 points, Ben.
That's a lot.
11 of which are from word choice.
And it was mostly pictures.
It was mostly pictures.
That he didn't draw.
Or print correctly, or do any sort of cropping or anything. He just blew it up, took up the entire page, and I guess went for lunch.
Well, I think
there's strict union rules in the International Association of Tie-In Writers.
He both ideated and art directed.
He had at least 3 people working on this book.
I can't. Like, you just sit there and you're like, on one hand, I don't want to be mean, but on the other hand, like, I do need to know algebra. Like, on one hand, I don't want to be mean, but on the other hand, it's like, yeah, I do actually have to get up and go to work every day. So fuck this. I'm sorry, but yeah. Okay, I don't know. Do you want me to hit stop and we could do Tolkien, or do you want?
Yeah, let's do that. I'll do a shout out to our patrons. Sorry, you blame my wife. She's not getting another one till next year. I'll hit this.
But then it turns out Nate didn't edit the episode, and so I have to do the Patreon shoutouts anyway, even though I was willing to do them in the episode the first time. But here we are. So, first I would like to shout out Spooky Shy with a Y, over on TikTok. John Bierce, actual author of The Mage Errant, The Rack, and The City That Would Eat the World. Isekai Sensei Sama of the That Time I Got Reincarnated in the Same World as an Anime Podcaster podcast. Keegan gave me no special project to shout out, so I just say hello. And Jamie, the Gravy Man of the If You Want the Gravy blog. What do you think of He-Man? There was a movie about that. We could talk about that. Well, yeah. I think that's everyone. I know I forgot some people during Fire and Blood. Sorry. But I think I got everybody this time. So, good night.